Hello everyone, welcome to my sewing room and welcome to my channel Stash Stitcher. I'm Kim and this video is day 4 where I'm sewing together the McCall's 8121 biker jacket. Now if you haven't seen any of the previous videos, I will put the links in the description below so that you can go and catch up. But this video is specifically about the back armhole detail. Now, I wouldn't normally show this because the instructions are actually very clear. They were easy to follow. But what I did is I swapped out one of the armhole facings and used my patterned lining instead, because I had envisaged that once the jacket was complete, that it be on, and as you moved around you might just get a little flash of that lining on occasion. So I thought it would just bring the lining from the inside to the outside as well, because I was also going to include some of that patterned lining in the under collar of the jacket. So I'll run the video now so you can see how easily it came together, and I will see you at the other end. Right, so we're going to start working on this unique back armhole feature. So we've got our back and our back yoke stitched and top stitched. We have pattern pieces number 13, which are the back armhole facing. And what I've done with these, I've cut them out in this patterned fabric and I've interfaced them. And what we need to do is we've got our main back facing right, and then you position the facing pieces right sides together, and then you stitch them into place with your 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So the back armhole facings have now been stitched in. The seam allowance has been trimmed down and been pressed to the back of the piece, and then it has been top stitched. So now we can add the back armhole band, which is piece number 14. So we need to turn it with wrong side facing up, get our back armhole bands, and then need to just place them on the facings. That's that, and then they are to be pinned. So it's just the armhole facing and the bands that are pinned. You do not pin them to the main back piece. Okay, so you do the same to the other side and pin that. Once they're pinned, you stitch them 5/8 of an inch with the seam allowance and then press them. Right, so the armhole band's now been attached, and I've trimmed the seam allowance down and ironed it flat, so we've got this nice effect now. So I'm just going to baste at the top and the bottom to secure it, and you can see just under there we've got this patterned lining which looks lovely. So once I've basted it, the instructions say to top stitch 1.5 inches from the edge of the facing. So I'm going to just use my nifty little sewing gauge here and my chalk pen, and I am literally going to mark 1.5 inches all the way around, and then once I've done that I've got my guide to follow at top stitch. Right, the back has now been top stitched, so that completes the back armhole feature, and that is lovely. So I'm really pleased with that. So you do get a little bit a flash of the pattern lining. So that's great. So I'm just going to carry on, and then I will show you anything else which I think you might find of interest. So the back armhole detail is beautiful. I'm really pleased that I swapped some of that fabric out for my patterned lining. So with that finished, the next stage was the collar and the collar construction. So I'm not going to show you that because the pattern instructions are excellent. They take you through it really well, so I don't really need to cover that. The only thing I did with the collar is I made the under collar in my patterned lining, and yet again I thought this would be quite nice when I flick my collar up. You can see a little bit of that pattern just to sort of give it a bit of an edge, and it works quite well with, you know, the little flash of lining that is also on that back armhole detail. So just tiny little touches make me smile. Now, a few steps back, when I was putting the separating zipper in, I did mention that when you put the separating zipper in, you need to make sure that you measure it properly, and it is better for it to be a little bit shorter than longer. And it's not until I got to putting the collar in and creating the collar lapels that I hit a problem, because my zipper was just a tad longer and bypassed that tiny little square mark on the pattern, that it ultimately had an effect to the finish of the collar. So just to show you that, because my zipper has gone slightly past that square mark, millimeters, when I came to stitch the top of the collar into my jacket, this has a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, but my zip was in the way, and obviously I'd already put my zip closure in, everything, and I just had to then effectively fold this zipper in to the seam allowance. So I've got this sort of curved edge to my zipper, and if I had made it just that little bit shorter, the collar would have, the zipper, sorry, would have finished really nice and neatly and stopped sort of in alignment to the top of my seam allowance. But I had no choice but to curve that zipper into my seam allowance. Nobody else would notice, but because it's me being a perfectionist, I have made a note on my project sheet, so when I come to make this jacket again, I know that the length of that zipper is really important, because when the collar gets sewn in, I have to make sure that there's enough, you know, 5/8 of a seam allowance, and it clears that zipper point. So note made. So even so, this is really beautiful. I'm getting very excited now, because it's I'm coming to that stage where I can see the finish line. So I'm not going to cover the construction of the collar and the creation of the collar lapels, because in the instructions it's all perfectly clear. There's no difficulty there, other than, you know, me just making a little bit of an error with the length of the zipper. So everything is explained really well. So with the lining and the facings, which was the next stage, I'm also not going to cover that, because the instructions, yet again, super clear, had no problems at all. The only thing I would say is that because there are so many pattern pieces to this jacket, just make sure that you know which pattern pieces you're using. So obviously in the instructions it does tell you the number of each of the pattern pieces. So when it comes to bringing all of the lining and facings together in the inside of the jacket, it could be confusing if you're not aware of what all of your pattern pieces are numbered. I usually keep my pattern pieces on my fabric up until the point where I need them, so I know exactly the numbers of them, so I don't get confused. But the construction of the internal lining and facings explained very well in the instructions, so I'm not going to cover those. So tomorrow's video is all about the sleeves. Now, I would say that I did have a little bit of a nightmare with the sleeves. I made a huge error, so I won't say any more. You'll have to wait until tomorrow to see how I managed to get myself out of it. And so this video is probably a little bit shorter, but I'll make up for it tomorrow when I cover the sleeves. So I hope you've enjoyed the content so far and you're enjoying this series. And if you are and you haven't subscribed yet, it'd be lovely if you could. And if you haven't hype or leave a comment, all those lovely things. And I think that is it. And I will see you all tomorrow. So have a fabulous evening, a fabulous day, wherever you are. And until next time, bye.